Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Dr. Jorge Valdes. So we're coming close to the end of 2020. I am sure that there's so many people that are so happy. You know, there's been a lot of pain in the world. So many people that have worked all their hard life to save a little business so they could sell one day and retire are gone. They don't even know how they're going to be able to survive in their 70s or 80s. And if they live to their big 90s, even worse. So many people lost a lot of loved ones to this pandemic. You know, it's been something that has affected the entire world. But you know, like everything in life, everything passes. So as we get ready to end this year and prepare for the new year, I just want to talk about something that we really need to address here. And I pray that if you believe anything that I ever tell you, that you believe what I'm about to tell you. And it's about conspiracy theories. You know, I believe conspiracy theories exist. And as I go through what I'm about to say, I want you to just maybe even take notes, maybe write down some of the points I'm going to make or some of the questions I'm going to ask you to think about. But stop for a minute. Forget that you love President Trump or hate him. Forget that you hate the Obama so bad, that you hate Hillary Clinton so bad, that you hate Soros so bad. Forget that you have been convinced that America is going to become socialist, that you hate Biden. And ask yourself the following question. I believe that conspiracy theories exist for one reason, because we are all obsessed about winning. See, the problem is that we live in a world that you're either a winner or a loser, and nobody wants to be a loser. So we start out now with that mentality. We take it to Little League, and every kid gets a trophy. You know, anything the kids do, everybody wins. Well, the life is not like that. People win, people lose. And if we teach our kids that everything that they do, they're always going to be a winner, it's wrong. They need to know that, hey, you can lose, but losing does not define you. Integrity, truth, honor defines you. How do you get up from being knocked down defines you. I know that. I spent 10 years in prison. I lost everything I had. I went through pure living hell. And I got up. And I started all over again. Because I believed in myself and I believed in the God I serve. So as we look at the world and we realize that we're so obsessed with winning, I suggest something. Why don't we start to think about that perhaps by losing, we let others win? If we take the example of Christ, he didn't come into the world to win. Think about it. He came in the world to lose. So by losing his life, we could win eternal life. So that's just one point of why we are so obsessed with winning. Loser is only a title you give to yourself if that's what you believe about yourself. If losing is used as an experience to learn, then you're not a loser. You're a winner. And if you get knocked down 100 times and you get back up 100 times, you're more than a winner. So, as we talk about conspiracy theories, because we're so obsessed with television. We're obsessed with television channels that make millions of dollars on banking that you are going to be an idiot. That you have no personality, that you can't think for yourself, and that you're going to believe whatever somebody idiot, a Hannity, a Carlson, or any of the morons are going to tell you. So here we go. My people, there is no such thing as conspiracy theories. They don't exist. Yeah, people tell you about them, but they're not real. They're fake. You know why? Because let me tell you about the guy, me, that used to bribe people to the tune of $1 million a month, 1977, 78, 79. I bribed a lot of people with that money. It got us a lot of power. It earned us a lot of favors. We were able to land airplanes full of cocaine in the middle of a town, protected by the police, and have the police escort us behind our car full of cocaine to our destination. You know what I never was able to bribe? I was never able to bribe a DEA agent, an FBI agent, or a federal judge. You know why? And you know why you can convince yourself I was never able to? Because I went to prison. If I was able to bribe them people, I would have bribed them because everybody knows somebody. See, you don't have to go up to a judge and say, hey, I'm going to bribe you. The judge knows somebody. He's got a best friend who's got a best friend. And if you work it hard enough, you work yourself down to the chain where you can get to somebody. And we tried. In different cases, I tried in my appeal. And the truth of the matter is, I was never able to, because you just can't. Those people are elected for life, and they take that very, very serious. So now, Chuck Colson was once asked, why he thought that he believed the resurrection of Christ. He said, real simple, because to believe that millions of people would conspire with each other to hide a secret about a guy that died and keep the secret that he resurrected, seeing that their children were thrown to lions and they were burned as human torches, thousands of them, to be able to keep the secret forever? Impossible. For Chuck Colson, it was impossible for one simple reason. He said 12 of the most powerful people in the world, knowing we were going to go to jail during Watergate, we were not able to keep a secret for 3 weeks. Think about that. Just 12. So like I asked a good friend of mine that believed that the election was rigged. I said, let me ask you this. How come the election was only rigged in the states that Trump lost? How did he know that those states, whoever was going to fix the election, how did they know those were the critical states? Yeah, we got battleground states, but Georgia? How about Florida? Why not fix Florida? Why only fix the states that Trump lost? Question first you need to ask yourself. Don't listen to all the excuses all those television have given you, because they've come up with an answer for all the bullshit. Second, who's doing the fixing? Okay, so they say Soros, Obama, Clinton. Really? So all them people get together and they're going to fix the election of the most powerful man on earth, in America. So fine, they got together. They put millions and millions of dollars together. Now, who did they hire to go out and recruit all these people? How did they know that one person that were recruiting was not an informant? How did they know that one person that were recruiting would not turn on them? How much were they offered? How much did they offer to keep their mouth shut? How did they assure themselves that these people would never talk? We're not talking about 10, 20. We're talking about hundreds. Hundreds of people. They've been able to keep this secret for 6 weeks. Then, ask yourself, how come those federal judges that Trump elected turned on him? Did they not like him electing him? And then when it's all said and done, ask the ultimate question. How was they able to fix the Supreme Court? How were these people that attacked those judges that Trump nominated, Kavanaugh, Gorsuch, how were they able, think about it, to get to them and pay them to bring Trump down? You don't believe any of that, can you? And then the machines were fixed by a banana republic like Venezuela, by a guy that's been dead. At the beginning, they were hacked. Really, were they hacked? How can you hack something not connected to the internet? Osmosis or aliens? So now they were not hacked. People came in with trucks and they loaded up these ballots that didn't exist. But then those states like Georgia. So let's say Pennsylvania is corrupt. So let's say that Michigan is corrupt. But Georgia, 3 recounts of the paper ballots. Those ballots are checked against the rolls. Look at the lies. And then ask yourself, how come Trump didn't have a decent lawyer defending him? He had that clown, Giuliani, and that crazy woman. So bad that it was even too crazy for the craziest of all, Rudy, that they fired her. How come he didn't have the great lawyers that he had during the impeachment, during the Russian investigation? Because great lawyers do not attach themselves to bullshit, because their reputation goes out the window. And because there's, above all, great lawyers have great reputation in front of judges. Read the opinions, people, and realize 50-0. My God, straight 50? Not 40-10? Not 30-20? 50-0? What is so dangerous about keeping that crap up is to realize that if Trump, let's say he was able to overturn the election by putting pressure on a bunch of cowards that kiss his ass, you know how dangerous that is? Imagine if Trump did it now, will a Democrat do it forever and ever? America survived because the judiciary did what the fathers of the Constitution intended it to do, be a check and balance. And they checked him. And they didn't side with him, and they're not scared of him. And you know what? All this intimidation with all these Proud Boys and all those guys with machine guns at the step of the Capitol. And I saw so many people say, stand by and watch. Watch the revolution because we're going to shed our blood for Trump. Listen, lock up a couple of them assholes and see how much blood they're going to shed for Trump. I haven't seen no blood shed now. And the Electoral College already decided. And you got a moron like Stephen Miller. You believe him when he says, oh, there's things going on. We're going to fix Mitch McConnell. Probably one of the smartest person in Washington. Finally said Biden will be the next president. And he will be. And nobody's going to shed any blood because you know why? Because here's the deal. I know I lived with assassins. I lived with people that would kill you for the sake of killing you. I remember being in Cartagena one time and having one of the pretty worst assassins the cartel had come up to me and said, Doctor, I'm going to Miami. I want to do you a favor. I want to get in your good graces. Give me 2 or 3 names of people you want me to take out. They didn't even ask for money. These people love to kill. But there's one thing about real killers. They don't tell anyone they're going to kill them. They just fucking kill them. So all these people are going to shed blood and they're going to die for Trump. Ain't nobody going to die for Trump. Nobody dies for a lie. And nobody dies for someone that in the back of your mind, you got to realize, yeah, horrors have been done against them. But in the back of your mind, you got to realize the guy's a habitual liar. And you got to realize Trump only loves Trump. You know, he loved the Secretary of State till he didn't love him anymore. He loved Bill Barr till he didn't love him anymore. He loved Jeff Sessions till he didn't love him anymore. Because it's all transactional. The moment you don't do his bidding, he don't love you anymore. So he's taken over the Republican Party, and they don't have the guts. I mean, think about it. When would you have ever thought 100 and some elected United States congressmen will sign on to a brief that is a piece of shit? It's a joke. Imagine if one state could tell other states that the election was not real and overturn it. What type of a country would we live in? Are you guys crazy? And here's what saddens me the most. Trump did great things, amazing things, of which he could be now going out with class and dignity and then brag about that he did Middle East peace. No one had done that since Camp David. That he defused the Korean War and the threat of North Korea. That he did prison reform that no one had ever done. That he did what no other president probably could have never done. He got us a vaccine in a year. So instead of saying, listen, I might have messed up, and yeah, people's lives died, not my intention. I did not mean to hurt people. But in the meantime, I've created a vaccine in such record time that's going to save many, many millions and millions of lives. See, he could be saying all that. But you know what? History is not going to remember him from any of that. Sad. Because a great, great achievement in 4 years. History is going to remember him for the lying and sore loser that he is. But see, you know, he knows that he lost. And he knows he's not going to run in 2024. Why? Because Trump knows one thing. He will never take a chance on losing again because losing is just not acceptable to him. So in the meantime, he's going to tell you all this crap because you're naive enough to give him money. $275 million. Read those 500 plus emails since election day. Most of the money goes to a super PAC for Trump, for his future political endeavors. Very little will go to fight for the senators in Georgia. And then you got these Proud Boys. You got all these hate groups that have been around forever, but they only decided to come out now because they've been empowered by the president. And that's sad. These people are not patriots. They don't love anybody. They're a bunch of racist assholes. Now look at it. Look what they say. Destroy the GOP. Destroy the GOP. It's so crazy. It's so crazy that at times I want to kick myself for getting angry at seeing good people that I love, people that I believe love Jesus, spread all this false rumor and put all this horrible post in the internet. And I got mad and angry because I love the people. If I didn't even know them, I couldn't give a damn. But people that I love did that. And one day maybe they'll come to their senses and realize that, you know what? Maybe it wasn't very Christ-like. Because I don't think that Christ would have stood for that. But you know, that is life. We all make mistakes. See, what we need to realize is that America is the land of opportunity. America loves to destroy people. Trust me. But I tell you what it loves more than destroying people. It loves to resurrect those that are repentant and have changed. I know I did. But you only change when you admit that you're wrong. Now, I'm not here to tell you that Trump lie. I'm not here to tell you any of that. I'm not here to tell you to hate him. That's up to you. I'm just here to tell you the facts. What I believe and what I see. And it's really, really sad. Because we're doing very frivolous time. And what hurts me the most is not that you believe it. It's that your children and grandchildren are going to believe it. You know, we allowed them crazy right-wing television to tell us, oh, Biden is going to destroy America. Oh, Kamala Harris is a socialist. America will never become socialist. America is a democratic country. America has checks and balances. America won't put up with a dictator. No matter what he does, there will be someone to check him. Good presidents come, good presidents go. Good politicians come, good politicians go. What never leaves us is the witness that we leave behind. And at the end of the day, we need to ask ourselves, when the pages of history are written, will history ever remember our name? History will not remember us for who we like for president or not, who we voted for or not. History will only simply remember us for the impact we had in other people's lives. And there is a lot of people hurting. I get emails from everywhere. So my prayer for you is that you don't allow others to brainwash you. Don't allow others to instill hate in you. Anything that does not come out of love is not of God. Because Jesus is love. So my prayer as we're getting close to the other year is that you listen and ask yourself the questions that I asked. If you care about it or you want to continue to believe what you believe, that's up to you. I'm going to work really hard this coming year at making sure that I don't buy into any of those negative posts. I'm going to spend a lot less time in social media than I am in reading, which I enjoy so much. I'm going to spend more time in prayer this year. Because if this pandemic has shown us anything is, that no one is immune. That no one is going to live forever. And people that we thought were here yesterday, they're gone tomorrow. Our days are marked. So why waste the few hours and the few days that we have buying into hatred, into division? Why don't we spend that time buying into love? Christianity is at its peril. We've seen the horrors that have happened with the evangelical leaders. Evangelicals used to talk so bad about Catholics. You know, with the pedophile, yeah, it was bad, but nobody is perfect. It's horrible what some Catholic priests did, but there's a lot of good ones. We have a Bible because many priests died to preserve our Bible. Let us talk about evangelical leaders. There was a great one, Billy Graham, and there are some today, Beth Moore, Andy Stanley, my favorite preacher. He said something that I believe so strongly. No religious leader should align themselves with no one or anything but Jesus. The minute you do, you give up your defining virtue. I'm going to continue to work hard so that I can help others. You know, many times, I want to tell you the truth, I want to give up. Today's been a horrible day of filming. The camera hasn't worked. My son is out of the country, and he's usually my cameraman and fixes all the edit. I've been trying to learn it all myself at 64, and it's been a horrific journey. So if things don't look as good as they look in the past, bear with me. What matters is the message. What matters is the love I have for you. Because many times I tell myself, I tell my wife, why am I doing this? Why is it costing me so much money and so much time to create content, to create YouTube videos, to create LinkedIn videos, to create videos for Instagram, to write blogs? You know, why spend all this time at 64, soon to be 65, when I could be doing the things I love to do? Read, spend time with my wife. We spend good amount of time in the morning in devotional. Then we exercise till about 10 o'clock. Then the rest of the day I dedicate it to helping others. But just when I'm down, because I am human and I get down, and I feel like, hey, I'm not making any difference. Who cares about this? I'll get an email from somebody whose life I have changed. You know, there's a lot of good people doing good things out there. Remember, the witness that you leave your children, that's who they will become. No politician is going to sell you or help you. Believe me. America will not become communist. Socialist, we already are. Welfare, Social Security, the check you're about to get from the government, social services, people. You know, financial aid. I told a friend of mine, oh, America, this Biden and all these people are going to make America socialist, and America is not socialist. I said, do me a favor. If it's not, give me your Medicare card and give me your Social Security check. Oh, no, why should I? I said, because they're socialist services. What America will never become is communist. But see, the media will not tell you that because no one's going to buy into that. So they tell you socialist, oh, socialist. When you look at what some of those progressives spout, and you know, they fight for. Look, I'm not progressive. I'm very, very conservative. But what they fight for, that we should all have health care, that people shouldn't be dying without the ability to buy medicine, that every kid should be able to go and get a good education at a public university that our taxes pay for without having to pay more. So when they graduate, one day they can buy a house. And that's how we all started to create capital. Well, they can't because they have a mortgage and they don't have a house. That every human being deserves a dignified wage. I don't care if Jeff Bezos is a trillionaire. I applaud him. I'm a capitalist. He left his great job making a lot of money, went to his garage, risked his father's money, his money, and he made it. Good for him. But you know what? The Bible tells me that he who much has been given, much is expected. So I don't know how much he gives or not, but capitalism is the greatest system there is. But it has to be just. We cannot have the disparity that we have today, where so many people don't have a job, lost their business. Mothers can't figure out how to work and educate their child at the same time. Waiters and waitresses are out of a job because restaurants have closed and not going to reopen. And yet the stock market is through the roof. And then we say, wow, if we raise the minimum wage, all we're doing is what Jesus would do. But then again, if Jesus came into the earth, walked into a church, and said the things that he says in the Bible, feed the hungry, visit the prisoner, clothe the naked, and then rich people, sell what you got and give it to the poor. Imagine what we would do for them. Oh man, we locked him up, called him a lunatic and a communist. Yeah, that's what we call Jesus. Read those words in the Bible. Perhaps it might do us good to read the Bible again. Hey, there's a nice little app. Read the Bible through a year. I do it every year. And it sends you the reading for every day. Read those words and pray. pray that the Holy Spirit will give you wisdom. And for those of you that are not of faith, read the Bible like I did when I was an atheist. That's a historical book. Look at the things he says. They're not whacked out. When you do that, perhaps we'll become better. America is not great because Trump made it great or was going to make it great, or he says make America great again. Bullshit. America is great when its people are good. And when you got people marching and asking for blood and accusing other people and saying that, oh, that guy, the cyber guy that says that it was the most perfect election, he should be hung and his head cut off. Holy shit. We didn't even talk like that in Cartel. You know why? Because when we felt we needed to cut someone's head, we just did it. But I see all these people talk all this shit. Cowards. That's what I call them, cowards. Real men don't threaten people. It hurts me to see my good friends post horrible things and just buy into this conspiracy theories knowing that they have a brain to think. But it's okay. I'm going to work really hard to not even think about that, to focus on what made that person and I good friends. I know they're good people. They love God. And when it's all said and done, they love people. You know, all we need to do is look at 911. We were not Democrats or Republicans or independent anymore. We were Americans. Because it was a national tragedy, we were attacked. And we all came together. It takes a horrible catastrophe like that to bring Americans together. We were the shining light, the beacon, you know, on that mountain. The last 4 years, the world has been laughing at us. Believe whatever you want, but travel as much as my wife and I did throughout all over the world, they were laughing at us. They didn't used to laugh at us 12 years ago. Everybody wanted to come to America. But I believe that America is good because I believe most people in America are good people. They'll do anything for you. They're giving. They'll help you. Sometimes we just allow others to make us confused. But I suggest, let us put all this bickering and division behind. A house divided can't stand. Let us reach out for what is good in us. Let us not look at the bad in each and every one of us, but instead, let us look at the good in us. Let us look at the fact that America has been a nation of faith. And today, if many people don't call themselves Christians, it's not because of Jesus. It's because of us. We don't give a very good example. We're not very attracted to many people. But I believe we can do better. I know we can. And I know it's a huge leap, like a friend of mine said. From not believing to having faith is a huge leap. Perhaps soon I'll make a video talking about how do we make that leap a little bit at a time. See, we can't say that I don't believe today, I'm going to believe tomorrow. I didn't do that. Someone witnessed to me for 3 years. And then it was still a journey. When I dedicated to serve God, I didn't even believe He existed. I'll be honest with you. But I had run out of options. So what else did I have to lose? Mine was just a very calculated, intelligent decision. I have tried to find joy and happiness in everything the world has to offer. I haven't found it. I see a guy that has nothing is over the last 3.5 years full of joy, beautiful wife, beautiful marriage. To people I would have thought, my God, these people are losers. They don't have anything. How can they be happy? I got everything. I'm miserable. I understand because I really started to become happy when I went to prison, lost everything. Was told that my father was going to die of cancer within the year. That I might face a life sentence and never see my children get married, graduate, or even be able to bury my parents who I love to death. Not having $1 to buy a candy bar. But certain about one thing, that I was created for something greater than what I had done in my life. And that if I just gave it a shot, and if I just hung in there long enough, perhaps I would find that happiness that had eluded me for so long. That happiness that took a good kid and made him a horrible sinner. I did eventually. 2 years. You know, our conversion is similar to remodeling a house. It takes a lot longer than we think, costs a lot more than we think, but at the end, the result is great. I'm so blessed today. I have a wife that I wake up next to every day, and I look at her when she sleeps, because she loves to sleep, and I just thank God, and I don't even know what I would do without her. I know one day that'll happen, but then I'll rest for me on the assurance that if she goes first, I'll see her again, like I will my dad. But the truth of the matter is that I ask God every day, take me first. That's how much I love my wife. I never loved, beside my dad and my mom and my daughter and son that I had, I never loved anyone. Everybody else was just, had a certain worth. They provided some for me, and I provided something in return. But that's not life. Life is different. In life, we give. And the more we give, the more blessed we are. Because it is better to give than to receive. And isn't it amazing if we start looking at the world and our relationships and realize that if we let others around us win by us losing, in the end we will win? It's not magical. It's just a law of life. And like I used to tell my Muslim friends in prison, if you and I go through life believing that Jesus is real and I'm going to be with him in heaven and see my parents, and when I get up there and realize it was all a lie, I didn't lose a damn thing. I'm just a nice guy. I looked at people with love. I respected. I helped everyone that I could. But what if we get up there and Jesus is real? You've lost a lot, I say. Today, this year, it's been very painful for me in the sense that it's the first year in 22 years I have not visited the Louisiana State Penitentiary at Angola. This would have been the 8th celebration of the only Catholic chapel inside the United States prison. I miss my brothers. They're doing life there. Many will never go home. They'll be buried in one of those 3 cemeteries. I've been visiting them for 22 years. Because every time I go there, they think that I'm coming to help them, but they help me. Because I see the joy and happiness inside people that are never going to be free, that never going to see their parents die, they're never going to see their children get married. Yet their love for Christ is so much that their focus is not in what they don't have and what they won't see, but in the joy that fills them every day of their lives. I get rejuvenated. It's like getting an injection every time I go there. I've been going for 22 straight years. But I will go the minute that we can. The minute the prison opens up. So as we get ready to end the year, my brothers and sisters, I wish you the best that God has for you. I wish you prosperity. I wish love upon you. I pray that you don't look at the darkness in life, but look at the light. Because where there's light, there is no darkness. I pray that your faith increases, even if it's just an inch at a time. I pray that we don't put our faith in political leaders. They're not going to do nothing for us. Put your faith in one that can, Christ. Put your faith in hard work. Put your faith in the fact that you were created, an amazing creation. Visit prisoners. Visit the sick. Try to clothe the naked. And feed one out of every 6 children that goes hungry in America every day. We will find tremendous joy through giving. Don't look at what you do not have. Look at what you have. Look at the fact that if you're able to go to the bathroom and pee, do you realize that that's a tremendous gift for someone that has a bag and has to go to the bathroom inside a bag? How embarrassing, how horrible. A friend of mine, this guy I met one time, said, I give half of my life to be able to just go to the bathroom and pee like a regular human being. Ain't that something? Yeah, we pee. Sometimes we find it inconvenience. But to some, it's a huge miracle. Many have buried loved ones without even being able to say goodbye. So don't focus on what you don't have. Focus on the fact that you're alive. And as long as you're alive and breathing, you have an opportunity to make a difference in the world. So therefore, I leave you with this message. When the pages of history are written, my friend, will history ever remember your name? It will only remember your name for those lives that you have impacted.